Okay, we're gonna try this again. I don't really know what I'm looking for in doing this. A part of me wonders if this is something my ego, which is me, I don't know why I speak of that differently, even though it's not the core of my being. I wonder if I am doing this in order to actually speak to myself rather than to speak to an audience. But I've consistently had a calling to put something out into the world like this. And I think the issue or the conundrum I have is that I think I've been waiting until I'm all fixed up to say what I need to say. And that I don't have a right or a place or credibility to say or speak on the truths that I have learned on my very short time on this earth. One second, I'm going to close the door. So I guess this is just a question to myself. Why am I doing this? Is it for an effort to be noticed? To feel important? Oftentimes, I've fallen into roles of being the supporter, the one that cares, the emotional foundation, the support for another person. And there's a part of me, I need you. There's a part of me that enjoys being that because it makes me feel important, like I'm more, like I have something to give, like my value is dependent upon my service to others rather than my inherent being. And yet, on the same side of that coin, service is a spiritual act. Service is a core, fundamental spiritual action. But here's the caveat, and this reminds me of the Bhagavad Gita, not being attached to the fruits of our actions. So is it selfish to enjoy the feeling of being helpful to somebody? Perhaps it's not a good or bad thing, but it definitely can fuel the ego to ingrain a definition of self righteousness into our image of our own selves. So much of our life is built around fear, fear of disappointing others, the fear of change, the fear of love, fear just being fear itself. How often do we really know where that fear is coming from? How often are we running just because that's what we've always done? Brings me back to a talk that I heard Thich Nhat Hanh give, or maybe it was a guided meditation, and it started with the idea of how we are always running, but peace is found in the stillness. We are the space between the words. We are the silence between our thoughts. And when you sit with that, you realize that that silence, that space, that stillness is love. And that you are love. So often on this journey, I have forgotten who I am and then remembered again and again. And that is the way of things. We are always forgetting and remembering. And each time we remember a little bit more. Do you know that you are love? Do you know that the pain you feel is just the parts of yourself that have forgotten that they are also love? Did you know that you are safe? Did you know that you are whole? That you are always enough as you are? That you are always enough just as you are? Acceptance is not the same as passivity. Acceptance of who you are does not mean that you do not change and that you are not willing to change, but a resistance to who you are, a resistance to what is like a cement that solidifies. The more you push, the more you hold onto this pain, the more firm and deeply rooted it becomes. Did you know that you are love? You are love. These moments, small or big, when we see or feel something or notice someone or speak to someone and we feel joy, that we feel love, those moments are a window into you. You are not your pain. So often we search for change. So often we search for more. So often we search for an extension of ourselves to fill the feeling of lack. That lacking has no end. when we put all of our energy into potential, when we put all of our expectations into a future that will fulfill our lack, the realization of that achievement will only reveal that lack is inherent in the experience of the ego. You are enough right now. Your worth is not dependent on things outside of yourself. Your worthiness of love is not dependent. It is not variable. You are whole. So often we attempt to fit some sort of mold that is not even who we are. And when you've been that for so long, when it's so ingrained in your mind, it is so easy to lose track of the fact that it starts from within you. I was thinking about the energy I've put out into the universe, into this world, into reality. And I was reflecting on the fear I have of others' expectations of myself and how they view me. Why would I want to be anyone else but what feels true to be me? Why would I want to attract or keep people in my life that are a product of a version of myself that's not even for me? When I fear the expectations of others, I am editing, I am rewriting a version of myself. I'm drafting a version of myself to please somebody that I wouldn't even want in my own life. And this isn't even about a specific person. This is just about an idea of an expectation. How often do we give grace and love to others, but when we face our own actions, we apply the utmost scrutiny? We so often know We so often know what our truth is, how we should be treating ourselves. But the pull of everything outside of ourselves, this deeply ingrained value we apply to things that aren't even us, leads us to forget again. "99% of people have to make a choice every day to love and to give grace when we lose a sense of that love for ourselves, of ourselves. What is ourself?" I ask myself how I can put something out like this, asking you, the viewer, to give yourself grace, when so often I lack that for myself. So often I am so unkind to myself. I spend so much of my energy practicing compassion for others. And I lack it for myself. I feel like I've been living my life, my entire life, by a set of rules that only I have created. That I've created a prison for myself on what I'm supposed to be. And the door is always open. The door is always open. I am both the guard and the prisoner. And that is the ego, the guard and the prisoner. The truth is, there is no jail cell. There is no building. It's just all one thing. Even if it's just for one moment today, sit and notice. And as you see the thoughts pass, remember that you are love, that you are whole, that you are enough, Have compassion for yourself. See the situation as it is, fully accepting it as if you've 100% chosen it. And then take one step forward and love.